Hey, Miami sports fans. Stop by Caneswear today at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. And check out their awesome merchandise selection of your favorite South Florida sports teams. From the Miami Dolphins, Hurricanes, Heat, Marlins, Florida Panthers, and Inter Miami, they've got it all. Celebrate your favorite team and show off your fandom with their beautiful team starter jackets, killer-looking helmets, team jerseys, cool shirts, and more. And if you're out of town or out of state, no worries. Go to caneswear.com and find everything they have on their site. Select what you want, and they will ship your gear to you. Anything over $99 is shipped for free. Don't wait. Stop at Caneswear today.
Traffic, but I love you.
Ahora de Cuba la Bella, del Palacio los Jugos,
los chicharrones.
Los vecinos aquí se enteran de todo.
Mi vecina era CDR en Cuba.
Y en verdad no hay nothing that you can do. Chacleteras sin llames con corbata.
Aquí yo vendo hot dog, pero en Cuba yo era médico.
Le saco el dedo y digo you.
Sweet home Hialeah. Solo 30 minutos de Le Fallo.
Oh,
sweet home Hialeah. I hate your traffic, but I love you.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of East 10th Street Boys, straight out of Hialeah on the Finstock Sports Network. I'm Bobby Melendez, and that is the one and only my brother, Alex Atiachiska. Alex, how you doing, brother?
What's up, my man? Happy Sunday, buddy.
Happy Sunday is
yes,
right.
Yes, sir. Are you okay?
Clearing it. I had to work
on air. We have 10, 15 minutes to do this. The moment you're like, hi, guys.
I had that whole time during the intro to clear my
throat.
Come
on, man. Clear everything out.
It's like when, I'm picking on some of our guys, but I just love having fun. But, it's the same thing. It's like we had a whole before show during the intro to do stuff. And as soon as the show's going live, they're going,
yeah.
Oh, hi, everybody. It's like, really? Like, you're desperate as what are you doing? Hey, damn.
It's like, it's funny though. Like, it happens to us. Like, for example, you're gonna leave your house, right? And you're like in such a rush that you forget sometimes to pee before you leave. And the moment you sit in your car and you're like 1 block away from your house, you're like, oh shit, I gotta fucking take a piss. It's like, damn, man. Now what do? Your destination like 15 minutes away, 20 minutes away. It's like, oh god. Turn around and go
That's
pee.
funny because as I'm prepping for the Dolphins Cancer Challenge in February, I'm raising money for that, and I've been posting the link here and there, and to those who aren't aware, raising money for Dolphins Cancer Challenge, which goes straight up to fighting cancer. They raised $75 million in 15 years, $10 million plus last year. The team that I am on, raised plus 46,000, I think. So we are doing that right now. And so raising that money, and then in February, I'm going to fly down to Miami. This will be my second year doing it and walking in the 5K there, which is really cool. You walk on the racetrack there, you walk the racetrack, you go all the way around, and you go up in the stadium, all the way up the stadium, walk around, and you come back down, and then they have a huge event afterwards. It's an amazing event. But in preparation for that, even though it's a 5K, for preparation for that, is that, obviously during the work week, I am walking around. I'll go drive to the mall and just walk around the mall and whatever, because I don't want to sweat too bad, because I'm working. Or if the weather's too nice, I'll take walks around the work. But during the weekend, like today, I will do it. I didn't do it yesterday. Today, Tati will drop me off downtown Franklin. It's about, almost, and the way I go, it's almost close to 4 miles to 4 miles, depending on where you turn. And I've been walking that, so and it's been great. I love it. I put the headset on, I just zone out and I start walking. And I've been getting faster getting back, which is funny. But you bring up that bathroom story. It happened to me a couple times where I'm like, I think I'm good. I'm like, I don't need to use the restroom. I'm good. Tati will say, hey, are you okay? You got to go to blah, 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 blah. And then as soon as she leaves and I start walking, I'll walk up. Sometimes I'll walk up the garage, or I'll have Tati drive all the way up the garage and then I'll come back down. Or I'll walk, if she parks the Bob, I'll walk all the way up and then come back down and then make my walk. But the last couple times that I've done it, which I've been walking down, all of a sudden I start going, oh God, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I'm trying to, and remember it's Sunday, so I'm like all the city hall's closed, so I gotta find the door that's open so I could go. Yeah, so absolutely feel that 1,000.
What's up, Evan? How you doing? What's up, Adam? Crazy Dolphin. Thank you for joining us.
In the house.
Are you still here in Florida, man? You told me you're gonna reach out when you got here. You're back in Canada?
He's back in Canada, yeah.
Oh man.
He didn't reach out to you?
No, he didn't reach out to me. I know he's pretty busy sometimes when he comes, especially with a family. But next time you come, Finstanson, you gotta let me know a week before so I can clear a day for you, man.
It's called Depends, Bobby. Yeah, I know. I should. Hey, so as they're mentioning in the comments,
there we go.
I want to say something. There's Tati. As they say in the comments, and the title of the show. Couldn't come at a better time. The Dolphins have already started making cuts. The final preseason game is finished. They lost to the Buccaneers. And I was just talking about tight ends yesterday about there's a lot of talented, obviously they're not, big names or whatever, but the Dolphins have a good talent pool at the tight end position. Somebody has to go. Jody Fortson is that guy. The Dolphins signed him during the offseason. He played for the Chiefs last year. Didn't really get an opportunity to play there, but he has the talent and has the speed. I mean, you look at what, you see Jonnu Smith, he's automatic. You look at Durham Smythe, he's on that roster.
Correct.
Now it's 3 and 4. 3 and 4 tight ends possibly on the roster for the final 53 because of the injuries at wide receiver.
Correct.
I think they keep 3 tight ends. I think possibly 4. The third tight end, could it be Tanner Connor, who's looked really good at camp? Have Julian Hill. And then Hayden Rucci, the undrafted free agent tight end. I mean, he looked really impressive on the other night. I mean, that tight end, everybody, it's third, fourth stringers, whatever. Here's the truth. That touchdown grab where he got smashed by 1 or 2 guys, that was a big boy touchdown grab. So my hope is if he doesn't make the opening day roster, which is understandable because of the being an undrafted free agent, I hope that he could be possibly a practice squad player for the Dolphins. Sign up to the practice squad as an undrafted free agent and let it ride out. Jody Fortson, it sucks to see him go. Maybe he comes back around. I don't know, but he's a talent. He's a talent. He has talent that he should be on a roster, if not a 53 on a practice squad. Mike White. Mike White did not do himself any favors whatsoever in this preseason. The final game did not look good at all. Zilch. Nada. Skylar Thompson did. Talked about it yesterday. Before any releases. Mike White now is officially released. He's out the door. That saves the Dolphins $3.5 million towards the cap. They're already plus 20. Okay. So they cut him. Skylar Thompson, I talked about it yesterday. If they were going to keep 3 quarterbacks, and I think they will, they're going to sign someone, I believe, or get someone. That Skylar Thompson won the job by default because of how he played in game 3. He looked good in game 3. He did well. He earned himself that roster spot where Mike White did not. But am I comfortable now? And I go, okay, now we got Mike White backing up Tua. We're golden. Hell no. Dolphins should go and get another quarterback, whoever that may be. Breaking news: the Dolphins have. Stop it! It wouldn't be the Dolphins. It'd be FTSN. We're not going to Steve Malloy. And that's not how you spell his last name. And I'm excited. First off, Vince Stanja should be back on FTSN. He has been back here and there, but officially back on FTSN airwaves to the season, preseason, pregame, postgame shows. Maybe some other shows, something new, something fresh. I don't know. But man, Alex, so very quick, your raw reactions. Mike White cut by the Dolphins. If the Dolphins go in with 2 quarterbacks, which they shouldn't, in my opinion, and it's a rule now. I mean, not a rule, but it's allowed.
Yes,
for the Dolphins to carry
QBs.
3 quarterbacks. You know,
Yeah.
3 quarterbacks could be active on that
Correct.
day. So
Correct.
right now, Mike White is out the door. Skylar Thompson is in.
Yeah.
Are you today comfortable with Skylar Thompson being your backup quarterback for the Miami Dolphins? QB2.
For now, I am. Obviously, it all comes down to I do believe that they're going to sign a 3rd quarterback, and we talked about it last week. Not only was it a cap situation, but Skylar Thompson looks way more comfortable than Mike White with this offense, and he's younger. He was drafted by McDaniel. I understand Mike White was signed by McDaniel and Greer to more of a security. Honestly, I think it was a situational signing, realistically, because of Tua's injury concern coming to last year. Maybe with Tua's security and his development, you feel comfortable with Skylar Thompson. And let's not forget, Skylar Thompson didn't look all that bad when he had situational starts last year, even in the playoffs at times, even the year before. So there's a situation where if he's playing with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jalen Wright, Mostert, Juno Smith, Skylar Thompson is serviceable. It's not your ideal backup quarterback. I do think that they're still going to wait for this series of cuts, or maybe one of those post-cuts trade situations where a player's going to get cut and he actually gets traded for a 7th-round pick that never conveys or whatever or whatnot. And it really came down to the Mike White situation with the salary cap. We have, and I know we can roll over salary cap. A lot of people forget that you can roll over your available salary, your available depth underneath the salary cap to next season, but you can still use it as sign for other names that could come available post cuts. My eyes are still on. I always butcher his last name. Taylor Heineke. Is it Heineke? The one from the Falcons.
I say Heineke.
Heineke.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call him Heineken. That's my dark horse still. But obviously you're still gonna get a series of cuts. And do I believe that they're gonna try to sign another veteran presence as a QB3? Yeah, I would not discount it at all. And Mike White is gonna get a backup job somewhere. So Mike White will be signed. He's not gonna go unsigned or be in the practice squad. Mike White will get a backup job. But I'm comfortable with Skylar for now. If it's a prolonged absence, like I talked to you last week, I don't care who we sign as a backup quarterback. If we somehow lose Tua for the year, it is very unlikely that we're going to win a Super Bowl, go into a contention full season, because it's a system, but Tua's the best in this system right now. So, and I know we talked about Brian. You brought up Tannehill. Bobby has been talking about Tannehill all summer. I would not be surprised if they reached out. At least touch base. But it comes down to the final cuts now. By Tuesday, you told me, Bob, that we need to be at 53. So there's going to be movement there. There's going to be movement. And I don't be surprised if we move a Jeff Wilson. I don't expect Jeff Wilson to be cut, but maybe he's moved. So there's a lot of moving parts coming up.
There you go. Heineke is a slinger. Yeah, Heineke is good. I would be down with that. Honestly, I would. And again, I know, first off, Brian.
This actually makes really good sense.
John Cox, thank you for tuning in, first of all. Appreciate you watching. Crazy Dolphin as well. If we're keeping Skylar, coach and develop him with schemes that fit Skylar's skill. Listen, what Skylar has going for him is he's been in the system just like Tua for 3 seasons. He's been under Coach McDaniel for 3 seasons. Okay. That's what he has going for him. That's why, to me, he looks more comfortable in this offense while it's running compared to a Mike White, who did not look comfortable and does not look comfortable. And again, you don't know. Right here, okay, Crazy Dolphin, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Great answer. Great name to throw out. I will give credit to Finstanza. Finstanza talked about drafting him a couple of years ago. He got drafted by the Browns.
Is that the one that I sent you? Yes. Via message?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that's a good name to look at. Yeah. Another name, possibly for the Miami Dolphins. Again, I do believe Miami should get another quarterback, and one that we'd feel more comfortable with if he started. But Alex is right. I get it. And Hank brought this up yesterday. The talent of this team, the offense around, minus the offensive line, but the offensive, the offense. When you got Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, Devon H, and Raheem Mostert, Jalen Wright, Jonnu Smith and Durham Smythe. The talent there, for a plug and play quarterback, should be enough to mask any issues that quarterback may have. However,
correct.
As we saw, again, it wasn't as talented as a team. We saw how Skylar Thompson did in his rookie season. They did go to a playoff and they lost. So you just have to hope that it takes advantage of that and moves forward.
Yeah.
Again, love the names they're bringing. And I'll just say this. I understand Brian said no Tannehill. Tannehill, again, free agent, hasn't been signed. I don't think he's retired. I think he still wants to play. I think obviously he's waiting to see if any injuries to starters around the league before he moves forward anywhere else. I'm not surprised. I mean, I think he's probably looking at that Minnesota job saying, hey, are they going to stick with Sam Darnold to be their starter? Do they need a veteran guy? You saw what Joe Flacco did for the Cleveland last year.
Yeah.
I believe that's what Tannehill's waiting on. But if Miami were to call or to say, hey, you know what? Let's get Tannehill in here. He'll be our veteran backup. It would be weird to see him not with 17, but that's okay. I would be okay with that. I'd be down with that. He's a veteran, playoff proven quarterback who's played, who did well in Miami, did not do well enough, moved on. He had to break it up, did not do good with Adam Gase, went to Tennessee, had great years, had a good run with Tennessee with the Derrick Henry and company, made playoff runs, went to the AFC Championship. He's a playoff proven. He's not your starter.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't be your starter. He's your backup. So would you feel better with Skylar Thompson coming in Ryan Tannehill coming in at quarterback for a series or two or a game? God forbid if Tua goes down or needs a break, Tannehill comes in, or would you feel better with Skylar Thompson coming in? Me personally, I'd feel better with Ryan Tannehill. Feel better with Tyler Haneke. Robinson there that we were talking that you brought up there, Thomas Robinson. Mm-hmm. I like the potential of Robinson with Mike McDaniel. Seeing what now, if that's a situation, I'd say, okay, Skylar, you're more familiar with the system. Skylar, you're going to be the QB2. Robinson's to be QB3 and possibly QB2 later on down the line. But it's very interesting. I mean, and it's exciting. I'm glad Miami did not stick to their guns and say, okay, we're going to keep these three guys. They said, no, we got to move on from Mike White.
Correct.
We appreciate you. Thank you for your service. So we just saved $3.5 million. Now go get that QB3, QB2, and let's hopefully get a guy that we could be trustworthy that if something happened, if we don't want it to, because if it does, it's going to suck. But if something goes down, you got a guy where you're like, okay, at least we could win with him. Yeah. Even though Alex is saying now, hey, if Tua goes down, there's no chance we're not going to win. We're not going to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Something happens to Tua, and that QB2 comes in. That's Tyler Haneke, Ryan Tannehill, whomever. I know my brother well enough to go, hey, Bobby, man, the talent of this team, we're still going to win. We're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like I said,
but you have to have that confidence. You got to have that confidence in the QB2. Because if you had Mike White or Skylar Thompson coming in, you're going to be like,
no, whatsoever.
But if you got that vet, you got that true vet back there, that's the thing. We make jokes on Mac Jones, right? This is a hint. Mac Jones. We all make jokes, right? No one wants him as a starter. Mm-hmm. He flopped in New England, and I get it. You came in right after Tom Brady. Those are big shoes to fill. However, wouldn't you rather have him as your backup quarterback right now? Look what Jacksonville did. They had Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence is their franchise quarterback in stone. Mm-hmm. He got his extension. What did they do? They went out and got Mac Jones. They didn't go get some rando to be their backup, and he's our QB2. Because if Trevor Lawrence goes down, it's the end of the world for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But now that they got Mac Jones, it's like, hey, we got a shot. We could win a couple of games from Mac. He's shown he can be talented. Same thing. Seattle, they got Geno Smith. Who'd they go get? They got Sam Howell, right?
Sam Howell.
So, and then Kenny Pickett, I forgot where Kenny Pickett went. And, you look at Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson for $1. So what did they do? Mm-hmm. They were good. They had Russell Wilson for $1. They go and get Justin Fields. And we were just talking about before the show how ugly and bad Pittsburgh looked. But still, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, hey, you know what? If Russell goes down, can't play, they got Justin Fields back there. But, first off, Josh Wingate's in the house. Great to see Josh. Looking forward. He'll be he's going to be a part of the fantasy league this year. I'm excited about having him on. We were just talking about him yesterday on No Holds Barred, but you were saying something, Alex. I'm sorry.
This might sound crazy, but the way I always analyze QB1 and QB2 is the drop off between both of them. For example, Geno Smith goes down in Seattle. Geno Smith's a good player, but I don't think there's that much of a drop off if Sam Howell comes in and play. It's different styles, but it's not that.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
much of a drop off. Believe it or not, with Lawrence and Mac Jones, I know people are hyped about Lawrence. I know Jacksonville signed him to that extension, and he has more weapons around him now. But still, I still don't see Lawrence as a difference maker in regards to, yeah, he has elite athleticism. He has size. He has the arm strength. But to me, which is insane to think about, they went the conversation having from any quarterback can run Mike McDaniel's system to now it's like, holy shit, Tua runs it better than anyone. And this system is fit for Tua. So no matter which backup we have, the drop off from when Tua is under center to our secondary, our backup quarterback, the drop off is going to be noticeable. So we could survive. We could win a few games. And at that point, Bobby, to your point, is you can make some noise in the playoffs. You can even win it all, but that will come to a testament, but to me, to your overall talent, like you mentioned, and also your defense. This defense can be a game changer no matter who is at quarterback. So it really will become an overall team talented victory. If Tua gets hurt, you have a whole team come together and actually win ball games as a unit and not a difference maker. For example, the reason I always compare it to is Kansas City and Mahomes. Mahomes goes down, you could have all the talent in the world. Mahomes makes that engine run. So Mahomes goes down, all of a sudden, Chiefs aren't feared anymore. They're respected because you got Andy Reid and you got a hell of a squad, but you lost the it factor. So that, like I always compare it to one of the Patriots when they lost Tom Brady, the year that we won the year that we won the division. Tom Brady goes down, they completely shuttered. And there was another, I forgot what year it was that Jimmy Garoppolo stepped up. Is that 08 or am I dating myself too back? What did who was it? Damn, now I'm thinking about it. Who was the one that was there? Because there was a year that Brady got hurt and Jimmy Garoppolo took over, and well, he basically got himself traded because his value went up. So we don't have that backup right now, and I think our future backup quarterback it's playing in college next year. So we're gonna draft our future QB2 this upcoming draft. But this year, like you said, we gotta wait to see who becomes available, and if not, you roll with Skyler confidently.
And again, point to what you brought
Matt
up earlier.
Castle, there you go. Then he went to the Chiefs. Yes, thank you, Evan.
And with a C, Matt Castle with a C, by the way. Matt.
There you go.
It's with a C, Evan. Evan with the rare L. I mean, W for bringing up the name. He was right. He just was wrong with the spelling.
Correct.
He's a little rusty, guys. He hasn't been on for a while. So, and I will say, too, you brought this point up earlier, and it's true in regards to Skyler. 3 seasons in.
Yes.
And again, what you saw in game 3 is what you hope to see in a game situation where he may have to come in.
Yeah.
And
he's not afraid. He's not afraid. No, that's what I love.
He's a slinger. He's a gunslinger. Yeah. That's the legit thing. He just has to do it right. Exactly. But he's a gunslinger for sure. And hey, who knows? Maybe Miami saw something when they watched it. Mike McDaniel and company, got a chance to watch him and watching him on the thing. And they said, you know what? I think he's ready. I think he is ready to be our QB2.
Wasn't this wild, Bobby? Like a few years ago, people were having a conversation that Skylar Thompson should be starting instead of Tua. Do you remember this?
I think for some there is still a conversation. I've heard that. Okay.
It's people don't realize how much sports evolve or change, or a player changes, or a system changes. Yeah. Where you can have the same personnel, and in 2 years. And I've noticed this. And before we go anywhere else, Bob, I want to get your take on this. It's always weird to me how in certain sports, superstars kind of evolve, but they also become like obsolete. In football, I think is a sport with a number one drop off where you can be an all pro wide receiver 1 year, and the following year, you're either in the wrong system or you have a drop off in your game. I've never seen him, and maybe, and Josh and Evan, I'll get your input. Anybody wants to do input here. I've looked at sports across basketball, baseball. You kind of see the deterioration in a player come, okay? You see players lose a step. You see players get a little slower, a little heavier. The talent drops off a little bit. But I've never seen such a cutthroat change from 1 year to the next. Like, for example, the player I think of now this year is Dameon Pierce with the Texans. The drop-off from 1 year to the next, it is insane how you can be a productive player where and not only that it reflects on fantasy football, I'm saying all around. You can be a productive player to all of a sudden being completely out of the rotation within a year and out of the NFL within 2 years. So I don't know if it's the nature of the business or is it something that I'm not seeing, because you see deteriorations and aging, right? But there's moments that you see like, wait a second, this guy just had 1 or 2 injuries and that's it. He's out of the league. He's done. He went being a 1,000-yard receiver 2 years in a row and now he's gone. So I'm fascinated by that in regards to football, where you can be an all-pro player and in 2 years you're out of the NFL. Like this, in a snap of a finger. Either a coaching change or system change. And it's insane to me how out of all the leagues, one of the players that are least adaptable sometimes are football players because of systems. They become system players. Exactly. Yeah. That's why I listened to a commentator doing a preseason game mention that you develop and coach. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And to me, very valuable. And now that you mentioned that QB2 and QB3, sometimes I'm not upset when players, and believe it or not, that's why sometimes backups develop way quicker and are better coaches. When you're always playing, you have to make decisions at the heat of the moment. Obviously, you practice, you have reps, but I think there is a blessing for some of these QB2s and 3s when not only are they practice players, but when they're sitting on the bench on game day and they're analyzing the game, when you're seeing the game from the sidelines up close and personal, you're taking into account play call, defensive reactions, your audibles, you're taking everything into play. And you're not doing it in live time. You're watching someone do it. So you can start picking up knacks here and knacks there that helps you out in the season. So there's value to that. People discount backups a lot, but there's values to backups even in the week, prep games, simulations, in-game situations. So that's very important. You always got to coach them up. Football intelligence. Thank you, Joe. That makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. The IQ, the football IQ. Mm-hmm.
Let's run down the roster very quick. Talk about the remaining, what could be the possible remaining cuts. So, as we know, Mike White has been cut. Skylar Thompson, as of right now, is QB2 for the Miami Dolphins. Do the Dolphins go out and sign a QB3? Or do they go in, is it right now, hey, he's QB2 for right now unless we find someone else? Okay, so we're waiting on that. I think they're going to get I think they get a third quarterback, maybe possibly a QB3 to sit down behind Skylar. But right now, Dolphin running backs on the rosters: Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, Jalen Wright, Chris Brooks, Jeff Wilson, Harfath, and McFarland Jr. And of course, you got Alec Ingold. The safe bets right now, or just guys who are safe, automatic making the roster: Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, Jalen Wright, Alec Ingold. You got Chris Brooks, Jeff Wilson. I think it's between those two, and I think Brooks could make the roster. I think Jeff Wilson and Harfath McFarland will be cut. I think Wilson. I mean, could Wilson be traded?
I think so. Yeah,
but Miami Heat Zone in the house. Great to see you, brother. Guys, if you haven't yet, go check out Miami Heat Zone. If you're a Miami Heat fan, don't miss out on some amazing Miami Heat content with the Miami Heat Zone. Those guys put in the work. They had Drew Smith, Miami Heat guard, on with them just the other day. An awesome interview. Those guys are great. Me and Alex have been on their show before. So hop on over, check them out.
Great host, man.
Great host, great content, great show. How is Jake Bailey still the punter? I know. I don't know. I do not understand. But, yeah, I think Harfath and McFarland Jr. obviously are out the door. Do they go to practice squad? I'm not sure. But I think Chris Brooks goes in over Jeff Wilson. I think Jeff Wilson is a candidate.
I think so.
Cut.
Yes.
And if he could get traded, great. I don't know if he will be traded because I wasn't. If I'm another team, I'm not wasting a pick on him. He's going to be cut. He did not leave me wanting to keep him at all. Like, it was a 3rd and 1 situation, and he got pushed back 2 yards where Chris Brooks and Jalen Wright butcher through. So yeah, I think Chris Brooks goes in over on Jeff Wilson. You said you agree with me, right? Or do you have any other?
Yeah, no, I think Brooks makes it. Obviously, your top two are Mostert and Achane. I think Achane's going to be huge in the pass catching department this year. I think that he's going to deploy him in that department a lot, especially with the injuries in the wide receiver core. But I do think Brooks makes it over anyway because he can power through. Whenever you need to pick up that 1 yard and you just need to bulldoze your way to that first down, I think Brooks is irreplaceable when it comes to that. And obviously Ingold. Ingold is a solid piece at fullback, so we don't even got to worry about that.
Oh, Alec, first, and I will say I talked about this yesterday on Fitz Talk today, but Alec Ingold, first off, awesome human being, really cool dude. Met him at the Dolphins Cancer Challenge last year at the 5K. Very nice guy. However, as good as he is, and Evan knows this, he was one of my favorite players on this offense. He was one of my favorite players when we signed him. He makes a huge impact to his team. I'm excited to see what he can do this season with this team. If you watch the preseason, you watch preseason game 3, he was on the broadcast for a good part of it. And he stayed on basically analyzing the game. This,
Correct.
you know, how some players, which is understandable, some players get shy. You could tell they're, kind of, he was not that. This dude has a future in broadcasting. He's going to be on TV one day calling games. He's going to be on or ESPN or Fox Sports or whatever, analyzing football games. That's how good he is. It was really cool listening to Alec Ingold on Dolphins TV analyzing that game. And then, of course, when they scored a touchdown, he was, all hyped and freaking out. He was hitting Rucci. He's like, that's my boy. It was so cool to see. And he goes, go get that football. Go get that football. He wanted to make sure Rucci got his ball back. That was cool to see. So Aladino says, get something for Wilson in a trade. And my thing is, right, in a perfect world, in a good situation, you would get something in a trade for Wilson. I mean, he has shown, you go based off maybe what he's done. I always think about potential. I always go what you could do. And what I saw from Wilson, if I'm another GM, I'm not trading for him. I'd rather see him get cut, and then I'll probably go get him for cheap. But I'm wasting a draft pick. I don't know if I would. Harrison says Ryan Tannehill or trade for Tyler Huntley or other.
Probably that's Heineken.
He's probably talking about Heineken.
Yeah.
I don't know who Tyler Huntley is. He's probably some AFL quarterback Harrison's trying to throw in there to confuse everybody. Harrison Melendez, guys, that's my baby brother, host of Sports Cards Chasers here on FTSN and of course on Whatnot. Breaking boxes, trying to find that card. He's looking for that Olympic card. Oh, there you go, Huntley. That's right. Huntley's the backup for Baltimore. Harrison, you just gave Harrison a pat in the back. Now Harrison's like, yeah, what are you talking about, bro? They don't know who Tyler Huntley is. Alex.
Oh, that was last year. No, but now he's in Alex, are you free October 27th?
He's asking that is you got to see in a couple months.
Because my son basketball starts again. I got to see which weekend. Is that a weekend, man? That's a Sunday.
That's okay. Yes, that's Alex. That's the game.
Sure.
That's the Arizona Cardinals game. That's Dolphins.
Oh, gotcha.
He's asking because I might not. I'm more than likely can't make it. He's been asking me because I went last year.
Oh, got you.
So
okay.
He's trying to replace me with you. That's what he's saying.
Got you. I see. We'll talk. We'll talk, Evan.
Yeah. So
very, very interesting.
very, very, very. Cap for life in the house. Kenna in the house. Great to see you guys. Hey, let me just say to everyone watching right now, if you're on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, over 70, 80 people, close to 80 people watching right now live. We appreciate you all tuning in. If you're new to the channel, if you're anywhere other than YouTube, hop over to YouTube for us. Hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notifications bell. A lot of great content, not only in the East 10th Street Boys. We try to bring the fun in terms of sports, but great content overall with great personalities on the channel. Harrison, Finstanza, Josh Wingate, Josh Kimmel, Justin Burley, Fish Tank Hank, Alex, myself, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, great guys on this channel. Great content. We talk wrestling. We talk Dolphins, Heat, NBA, NFL, baseball with Russ Morgan. We got so many great things going on here in the channel. Caneswear, Miami Hurricanes podcast coming up on Tuesday night, the premiere episode. College football on Wednesday mornings with TD in Paradise. So many great things. So if you're into any of that, hit that like and subscribe button and join us on FTSN. Wide receivers. Mm-hmm. This is intriguing because there's talent on this roster in wide receiver. Obviously, when you got the best guy in football, but there's a lot of injuries on this receiving core as well. So Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington, Odell Beckham, Braxton Barrios, Jaquan Barton, Anthony Schwartz, Braylon Sanders, Mike Harley Jr., McGowan, River Craycraft, and Jaden Janke. Those are the receivers for the Miami Dolphins. Let's see, 70. 13 receivers.
Yeah.
How many receivers do you think they keep?
They'll go 6 or 7.
I think 6. I think 6 or 7. However,
yeah,
I'm with you with that. I'm 6 or 7, but we don't know if Odell Beckham's going to start the season. He might start the season on PUP.
On PUP.
River Craycraft
is on PUP already.
He's on IR.
On IR. So he's going to be 6 games at least, right? Or,
yes. And Uzunkamma is Eazy-E is it was wore the walking boot. We don't know what's going to happen with him.
Okay.
Oh, Miss Finns. Yeah, man. The Miss Finns amazing. Oh, she's in the house. Holy crap. Miss Finns. Hey, hell yeah. Look, we got Miss Finns in here. Friend of the channel, my personal friend. Love her to death. Guys, everyone knows who Miss Finns is, but I'm going to say it anyway, just in case you don't know who Miss Finns is. If you want amazing Dolphins content, almost daily, but also anything, really. She covered the Olympics, which was great. She killed it with the coverage of the Olympics. Go check out Miss Finns. I'm so happy to see her. So cool to have her on the channel right now, tuning in. But look, let me just say, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, obviously set in stone. Odell Beckham should be set in stone, but could start the season on the PUP. Waiting to see what's going to happen there. Braxton Berrios has not done himself any favors on making this roster. I would almost say he should make the roster. However, I think he does because of the injuries to the receiver room.
Correct.
Malik Washington,
he's your kick return, punt return.
He's
right?
in.
He's in.
He should be on your roster. It's
correct.
I'd be shocked if it happened any other way.
Yeah.
Eazy-E. We haven't seen a lot of Eazy-E. We talked a lot about Eazy-E, but we haven't seen a lot this preseason of Eazy-E. Game 2, we did. What we did hear a lot of is the coaching staff praising him. We still believe in him. He has so much talent, et cetera, et cetera. I believe he has a sneaky way to get in on this roster.
Yes.
And I believe Miami does have plans to get him involved this season. Especially with the injury to River Craycraft. If Craycraft was still not injured and he was still in here, Craycraft may get that role over Eazy-E. Eazy-E probably starts on the practice squad. I don't think that happens. I think now you're possibly looking at Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, Barrios, Malik Washington, Eazy-E, if Eazy obviously starts the season. And then maybe if Odell Beckham does not start the season on PUP, you're looking at possibly 4 tight ends rather than 3 tight ends.
That's about one of the things that I want to talk about in regards to the wide receiver room. I would not even be surprised. I think they're going to keep Arias, but I would not be surprised even if he becomes a cut for salary cap purposes, even with the depth necessity, because I do think 2 people. Well, obviously, I think Easy is going to make an impact, and he has a chance to be a difference maker at times. But the 2 people that make this makes him expendable for me, aside from Malik Washington, is Juno Smith and Devon Achane. I really think people don't understand how Achane is going to be deployed this year. People that know football see it, but I don't think people realize that just because he's a running back, I think he's going to be a premier pass catcher in this offense. I'm talking about maybe 3 to 4 pass catches a game out of the backfield for him, or even being deployed as a wide receiver.
You talking about Devon Achane?
Devon Achane, yes. I do believe he's going to. And Juno Smith, we didn't have a tight end like Juno Smith for the past couple of years. So that alleviates, at times, your wide receivers and your Hills and your Waddles. So even for depth purposes, I do see Berrios maybe sticking it out, but I would not be surprised at all if he's cut, even with the uncertainty around OBJ and all that.
Yeah. I got you. Okay, because of what they're going to use. Yeah, and it's true. Look,
yeah, for
let's
sure.
talk about Jalen Wright.
Yes.
Probably, you talk about Mike White, who did not take advantage of his situation. You know, it's not very hard to keep be QB2 when you're going. Not knocking Skyler. I love Skyler, but go against Skyler. But you didn't. You flopped. Jalen Wright comes in. He knows he's not HB1 or HB2.
No. But
what does he do when he gets on that field? He showed it's you cannot ignore me. I need to be involved in this offense. And what happened now is I believe he is going to get involved in this offense where you're going to see him put in, and Devon Achane is going to go out.
Yeah,
you're going to have
him and Mostert together, and Wright and Mostert together. I'm telling you,
they're going to. Let me tell you, people were talking about Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Wait till you see that 1-2-3 punch between Achane, Mostert, and Jalen Wright. So I'm excited about what they're going to do, and I agree with you. I think that's going to open wide up to a lot more. So fantasy football fans, except for FTSN guys, because we're about to do our draft on next Friday.
Yeah,
Devon Achane.
I'm not picking Achane.
Go get him. Yeah, that's right. Go get him.
Not me.
He's I think between running and catching that ball, I think he's be very involved. The tight end position, you brought up Jonnu Smith.
Yes.
So tight ends right now,
Right.
Durham Smythe, Jonnu, Julian Hill, Hayden Rutsey, and Tanner Connor. Jody Fortson has already been cut.
Yes.
So we're down to 5 tight ends.
Correct.
As I said, I believe if everyone's healthy, whatever, it's 3 tight ends. We keep 3.
Correct.
Possibly with the receiver injuries, we might keep 4. And I'll be cool with 4. But again, you go Jonnu Smith, Durham Smythe, they're set in stone, right? You know they're going to be on that roster. And now let's talk about 3. Who's number 3? Is it Julian Hill? Is it Tanner Connor? Tanner Connor has been having a very good camp. According to his teammates, according to what we've seen, he's had a good camp. Hayden Rutsey, again, I don't see Julian Hill would probably be him and Julian Hill and Tanner Connor could be up for that 3 and 4 spot. But Hayden Rutsey can't be ignored. What I saw the other night is enough for me to say, hey, man, I would not hate for this guy to sneak onto the roster, but I hope that he's on this practice squad. I really do, because I see potential there. I see a guy who's not afraid to get hit. I see a football player. There's guys, he's a tight end. Yeah, he's legit a tight end. That's what he does. He blocks and catches, okay? Hayden Rutsey, like Alec Ingold, is a football player. When you could go down and catch that ball and get smashed and still get that ball and get a touchdown, you just told me you're a football player. You could take the hit and get back up again. Because they said it during that game after Malik Washington got hit, and which was a bad hit. Mike White almost killed him. When you're going to catch that type of football, you're going to get hit, so just catch the ball. You should just catch it and fall down with it. That's what Hayden Rutsey did. So did he do enough to make the roster? I don't think so, because he's an undrafted free agent. He's a rookie, and he did that one game. And plus, Tanner Connor and Julian Hill have that inside track. But he did enough for me to say, God, I hope we sign him to the practice squad, because I think this kid has a lot of potential, or showed potential. Eric Rivera is now in the house. Fitz Faithful Pod, George in the house, guys. Great Miami Dolphins content on podcast format. Spotify, I think Spotify and Apple. He'll put his things in there. But guys, great dude. Love George. He's a good man. Good friends with him too, man. I'm excited about what he has planned for the Fins Faithful podcast in the future. But Alex, what do you think, man, about the tight end position? Who do you think gets in? Do you think they keep 3 to 4? And is it Tanner Connor and Julian Hill?
I think they keep 4, Connor and Julian Hill, or with Julian Hill being 3, Connor 4. And like I said, even the difference maker there obviously is Juno Smith in this offense. Juno Smith is going to be maximized by McDaniel. And he's going to be, honestly, when you have Hill and Waddle and you have Jalen Wright and the chain and Mozart, the odd man out there, the one that might find himself free a lot of the times, is the tight end and Juno Smith. So I expect a great year for Juno Smith. And even if he goes down, Smith is a great tight end blocker. And then obviously in the end zone, he has the possibility to always catch those touchdowns when the pass breaks down, when the play breaks down. So there's not a huge drop off, but I do think with a wide receiver situation, they'll go 6 and keep 4 tight ends.
I think you're right. Alec Ingold was a stat when Rutsey scored. Yeah, he was. And I love that about Alec Ingold, man. That dude is a true leader on this team. And he, and again, it must be good to see when you see these guys fighting through, trying to get a spot. They're busting their ass every day in practice and in training camp. And then you see that happen to one of your guys, and you see him score a touchdown, living his dream, his first touchdown of his NFL career. That's pretty cool to see. And it's pretty cool to see someone like Alec Ingold, who's been in the league a few years, one of the top fullbacks in football, going there and cheering you on is freaking epic. Crazy Dolphin is not wrong. Our tight end roster cut problem is a damn good problem to have. It's absolutely true. And I will say, because I know, Alex, you said earlier, we didn't have a guy like Jonnu Smith the last couple of years. People go, what does it matter? We don't focus on tight ends. We had Mike Gesicki. Mike McDaniel has already stated, they're gonna implement the tight end position this season. It's going to be involved. And you know what? Jonnu Smith does not look like the Jonnu Smith that I remember on the other team. He looks slimmer. He looks faster. He looks determined to kick some ass this year. I'm excited about seeing what he can do on this roster this year. George, absolutely, brother. Let's chat soon. Looking forward to it. Awesome dude. Awesome content. Aladino, absolutely crazy. Let's see. What did we miss here? It says, well, I don't want to miss anything. What's our tight end stats over the last 2 years, bro? That tight end will not be used properly. You see, there it is. So, Kenna, you're not wrong. I will say that. I understand that mindset that,
It's
man,
personnel,
you know,
personnel and mindset. Yeah, correct.
Well, no, it's hey, look, they haven't done it.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done for me lately situation, right? I get it. But Coach McDaniel has stated the tight end room it's going to be more implemented here. When you look at what they've done with this tight end room, you see it's going to fit our scheme. These guys are going to be involved. Jonnu Smith is going to be, if they don't go out and get Jonnu Smith, if they're not going to plan to use him, if they would have stayed with Durham Smythe and then go ahead and get a couple guys like they did, then I'd be with you going, hey, tight end might not truly be a factor. He might get 1 or 2 touchdowns a year. I think they're going to be more involved this season.
And Bob, before we move on, I want to talk about one topic that I don't think any news media has really talked about. They've touched on the topic or whatnot, but I know we focus a lot on Tua's development and Tua's comfort level, but there's also a testament to Mike McDaniel's comfort level. He has a coaching staff now that he can relate to on all bases. He has a defensive coordinator who he can fully trust and communicate. They've known each other for 20 plus years. So this is now a situation where you're going to see also the success of the Dolphins is not only on the field product. The success of the Dolphins is also the evolution of Mike McDaniel, because as your head coach goes, your team goes. So yeah, talent's going to win you some games, but I do believe Mike McDaniel now, by nature, you've been a head coach. This is your 3rd year. You have experience. You have a talented team. You have the support of the front office, of ownership. Yes, the pressure is there to win. I get that. But now Mike McDaniel is in a comfortable place where he's not going to second guess himself. And I'm not saying Mike McDaniel ever needed a confidence boost, because he doesn't. He's a pretty down-to-earth coach. But now you have people talk about full Tua Tagovailoa, that he could be a quarterback now, where I believe you're going to finally see the Tua that we saw in Alabama, and even better, because he's comfortable and he could just go play football. I believe the same thing will translate to Mike McDaniel as a head coach and leader of men. So there's a situation where, Evan, hey, that's one of the things, bro. I know you soured on McDaniel, but watch this shit. Mike McDaniel will be a different head coach this year, and all the criticism. Mike McDaniel has a power of self-analysis. And I really do believe that this summer, his main focus, obviously, to continue with growth for the football team, the culture you're building, but analyzing what went wrong in consecutive years at the same time frame. I believe this team is equipped to handle injuries, handle adversity, and this is not a one-dimensional offense anymore. This is a pick your poison type. There's so much things you could do on the football field defensively that you can only account for so much, that it's on comfort level and reps where you pick defenses apart. And I do believe this year is Mike McDaniel's comfortable, Tua Tagovailoa is comfortable. I'm not saying that they're not motivated. I'm not saying that they're going to be complacent. They are comfortable in their own skins, and they're going to trust each other. And that, to me, is great. Eichenberg might start at center.
No, Eichenberg's had a solid camp.
Yeah.
And he might start at center depending what happens with Aaron Brewer. Again, Aaron Brewer is serviceable. I'm not comfortable with him. I'm not comfortable with the interior of offensive line. We're going to get into the offensive line just a second. I'm just trying to look for something here before I.
Next year draft is center and QB2. That's it.
Yeah, just those two. In regards of the quarterback 2 position, Barry Jackson with some clarification. With some NFL teams keeping only 2 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster, keep this in mind. If both of these quarterbacks are injured in a game, a practice squad quarterback can be inserted.
Correct.
Only if he was one of the 2 permitted players elevated for that particular game. Players at any position could be elevated 3 times per season. So there you go.
Correct.
Crazy Dolphin. I still look at Coach McDaniel as a mad scientist, expanding his experiments with our Dolphins and the NFL.
That's correct.
Absolutely. And he does look like he's going mad. Have you seen his new look?
Yes. Yeah.
He has no more combing the hair.
He's getting
natural curls. No more all the curls. I never seen curls before on him. He is going. Big O says Brewer will be ready week 1. Okay. Either way, Eichenberg, Evan said, has been one of the best at camp. Great talent evaluation. again, probably most likely the right guard for the Dolphins. And the good thing about Eichenberg, all jokes and everything else aside, is that you could move him around. That's the good thing about him. Is he the best at any of it? Absolutely not. But you could say him, oh crap, our left guard is down, Eichenberg. Right tackle is down, Eichenberg. Center is down, Eichenberg.
He's versatile in that regards. Why do I keep talking? Why do I keep talking? This is already getting annoying. I gotta find out a word.
You're a conceited prick.
What's going on?
You put it on,
so
that looks like you're.
Well,
yeah,
what is
good
this,
job,
man? Everything
dude.
is okay. Am I doing something? Let me see if it's my thumb. As you talk about, there you go. It is my thumb. Okay, let me see. Let me experiment with this. As you keep talking, don't worry. I'm just gonna experiment here.
No, we're gonna watch you. We're gonna watch you.
Okay, this is great. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, it's the thumb. Okay, let me put my thumb down.
It's the thumb.
It's the thumb, bro. I'm like, I had to figure out every time I was talking, it will pick up my thumb and the whole thing goes up. I'm like, bro, what are you doing, man? I'm trying to have a conversation and I keep looking at this damn thumb just here. Hey, good job, Alex. Good job. Great.
So, offensive line. I don't think it's rocket science to figure out who if the guys that are on the roster who's actually going to make the roster, because again, it's really by default. But Terran Armstead, Austin Jackson, Eichenberg, Robert Jones, Patrick Paul, who's been very I love what I've seen from him. And again, not ready, but I just love. Yeah, don't you use your middle finger? I was going to tell him to use the middle finger just to see what would happen. But I mean, you. Aaron Burger, Kendall Lamb, Jack Driscoll, Lester Cotton. Those are the guys that I believe will be on this opening day roster. Matthew Jones, Andrew Meyer, Ryan Hayes, Brian Matos, and Isaiah Wynn will not be. Isaiah Wynn will be on the roster, but he'll start the season on PUP. And he'll
Bob,
be
one question.
Left guard.
And I'm pretty sure is obviously with the cap space that we have right now, is there any interior offensive lineman that might be getting cut or that is a free agent right now that could be an upgrade in your opinion, aside from what we have?
There's actually a guy, and hopefully maybe the comments, people, the viewers could pop this up before I can. But there was a guy who just got cut, I believe, from the Bengals. Maybe I'm wrong.
Interior lineman.
Let me see here. Yeah,
was it the guard?
I think it was it was a guard. I'm trying to remember his name.
I think I remember. I know who you're talking about.
Colts have just released safety Ronnie Harrison and Greg Ward, wide receiver. The cuts are coming in. Let's see.
Yes, sir.
Colts have released rookie quarterback Kendon Slovis. The one-time USC freshman sensation was 16 of 22 passing with a 90.9% and 90.9 passer rating in the preseason. Hey, you never know.
Oh man, the O-line coach from the Ravens passed away this morning.
I did see that.
Joe De Alessandris. Oh man, I heard he was ill. I didn't know he was in the hospital.
Let's see. I'm trying to find out that guy's name, the one you just brought up. Let's see here. All right, but no, yeah, and I've seen some conflicting information about the Dolphins cap room.
The cap availability?
Yeah, that it's 20 million plus, and I saw somebody say 30 million plus.
Trying to find him because I was looking for him. Let me see. Bengals cut.
Yeah, but the cuts are happening. And again, rookie quarterback Kendon Slovis, who had a very good preseason, he got cut. Let me see here. We'll keep my eyes on it. But no, man, absolutely, there are going to be players there that are going to get cut that should have could be available for the Dolphins. Let me make sure not missing anything.
Is it Carmen? Last name Carmen? Jackson Carmen?
I'm not sure.
Jackson Carmen. Let me see. I think he was a tackle. Hold on. That's the only name I saw right now. And he was 2021 first round pick or second round pick.
He was a second round pick. Yeah, he was a second rounder. Yeah.
Jackson Carmen.
Maybe that was
tackle.
Him.
Okay.
And there's a linebacker. I'm just lost his name right now. We were talking about the Rams linebacker, Alex. I'm trying to
remember his name. The one that couldn't, the one that didn't agree to an extension, or they couldn't come
they're looking
to
trade him. I'd be down with that.
Is it Reed? No. Is the last name Reed? No.
Let me go to my page. I still can see my likes. It's probably on my likes. Yeah, here we go. Ernest Jones, the fourth.
Ernest Jones. Okay.
He's been granted permission to seek a trade. He had 145 tackles and 4.5 sacks last year. I would like to see that. I would definitely be okay with that. Carmen, Eric Rivera confirmed it is Carmen. Pele has not been cut. Pele he did get hurt.
Okay.
Third preseason game. Hopefully he's ready to go. I think he's been impressive. I think he may find himself on that opening day roster. Let me go ahead and we'll go down to edge. Well, let's go to D tackles first, and we'll go to edge rushers. But Zach Sealer, Benito Jones, Deshaun Hand, Calais Campbell, Brandon Peely, I think could be the tackles on the opening day roster. Isaiah Mack could sneak himself on there. The only thing I think that would hurt Peely is just being injured. Could start the season on PUP or possibly back on the practice squad.
Okay.
But and again, I would not be surprised in regards of D tackle, if Miami, one of those acorns from the other teams, and one of those guys fall, Miami snatches him up, pair him with Calais Campbell and Zach Sealer. I would be cool with that. Edge rushers, Cameron Good and Bradley Chubb both on the PUP. But Jalen Phillips, Emmanuel Ogba, Chop Robinson, Mo Kamara, and Quentin Bell should be your edge rushers to start the season. At least I believe. I believe, and again, and I'm cool with that. I think Mo Kamara and Chop Robinson, I'm excited to see them. I'm excited we got Ogba back on a very cheap deal. He's a solid veteran, and I think he's a player with a chip on his shoulder. He wants that more. He wants more money from another team, whatever. He knows Bradley Chubb probably is on a short-term lease, unless Bradley Chubb comes back and just destroys everybody, and then you're good. And Jalen Phillips, man, I cannot wait to see what he has in store for everybody. Deshaun Hand, who has been great. He will make the D line. Yeah, I said he's gonna be on. I said he's gonna make it. Inside linebackers: Jordan Brooks, David Long, Duke Riley, Channing Tindall, Curtis Bolton, Anthony Walker Jr., DeQuan Jackson. Like I said, I would love to see Miami bring in the possibly show some sort of interest or discuss with the Rams a possible trade for that linebacker. However, if they stick with what they've got, Jordan Brooks, David Long, Duke Riley should make the opening day roster.
Correct.
Duke Riley is a serviceable linebacker. David Long, Jordan Brooks, they're set in stone.
And Tindall has played. Tindall has expressed. Tindall has.
Well, I'm going to say
Channing
Tindall. Yes. Channing Tindall. The good thing Channing Tindall has for him, is as much time as he hasn't really seen the field or done much. He did have a good preseason. He's a solid special teams player. You could put him on special teams, he'd be good. Anthony Walker's been hurt, so I don't think he's going to do it. Going to make it, but Curtis Bolton has been solid as well. I could see Curtis Bolton sneaking onto the opening day roster, absolutely. But Channing Tindall is what he can do on special teams. He should make it. Defensive backs, great problem to have. Jalen Ramsey, Kader Kohu, Ethan Bonner, Kendall Fuller, Neil Holland, Poyer, Marcus May, Elijah Campbell, Storm Duck. Cam Smith is on IR. Nick Needham you got on there as well. Mark Perry, Patrick McMorris, Isaiah Johnson, Jason Matron. So Jordan Colbert. This is tough. So let's go with
Is this the deepest team that we've ever had in regards to all around, except O-line?
Hold on. I don't know if it's the deepest. I don't know if it's the deepest team, but I will say at the defensive back position, I think we have a lot of sneaking good talents.
Quality,
rotational wise.
Quality all around.
Storm Duck, Neil, Storm Duck, Neil, Elijah Campbell.
Awesome name, by the way.
McMorris.
I would love to be named Storm Duck. That's awesome. That's super cool.
Let's make it. That should make it alone. But no, his play during the preseason has been strong. Swan Neal has been playing really good. Nick Needham. I know Evan just said he could see Nick Needham being cut. The good thing about Nick Needham, that what he provides to this roster, is that, again, same thing as like Eichenberg. Plug it, safety, you can put him there. It's nickel corner, you can put him there. He could, special teams, you got him. But man, it's hard to put, say, hey, okay, sorry, Storm Duck, we're going to put Needham here. It's a good problem to have. We were talking about the tight ends earlier, and it's like the same thing with our secondary. It's a good problem to have. Do you cut Marcus May and keep Mark Perry or Patrick McMorris? McMorris, I think, he's a late round draft pick, but he's been solid in preseason.
He's been solid. I want to keep McMorris. Yeah.
I think, because he's a late round pick, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make the cut, but we put him on the practice squad and put him in a year and hold him for a year. But McMorris has done a very good job. It's just, I like Marcus May because he's a veteran and he's a proven veteran. But, I'm very impressed with McMorris because McMorris in the draft was the only guy, one of the only guys, where I was seriously like, this draft was the first draft, and I've said this, was the first draft where I felt like, damn, I didn't have to talk myself into liking the draft. Because as fans, we always kind of do that. We go, all right, first we go, what? And then you got to go, no, I can see it. Okay, yeah, this guy's good. And then you're like, you talk yourself into it. This draft was the first draft where I was like, damn, Chop Robinson, Mark Mo Kamara, Jalen Wright, Patrick Paul. I could see it. I could feel it. I understand where they're going. I like this draft. McMorris was the only one who was kind of like, all right. Not a top college. All right, But what he's been able to do in camp, I've been very impressed with. So would I be upset if he made the roster over Marcus May or whatever? Absolutely not. I'm cool with it. Would I be happy if he did get cut and then he went to the practice squad? I would be 100% like, good, we still got him. He could be elevated during the season. He could continue to develop. And then next preseason, we'll see what that has turned into. I like McMorris. I like his potential. I could see him, because of the veteran presence of Javon Holland, Jordan Poyer, and Marcus May, not making that start the safety position, but being on the practice squad. But I agree with Crazy Dolphin. McMorris is a beast. Let's see here. And obviously we know, as much as we're into Vincenza, Jason Sanders and Jake Bailey are both going to make this roster. And we do have Blake Ferguson, who's our long-term long snapper on here. So let me see. All right.
That has to be the greatest job. All you got to do is snap the ball long. I know it's essential, and it can make the difference on any football team. But you're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, just to snap the ball long. Like, that's literally your job title, long snapper. Like, I want to have a career day where Blake Ferguson goes to schools and just explains to kids what he does for a living.
But you know what, man?
He's
one of the better. He's one of the better long snappers in the NFL, and he's a great Dolphin in regards of how he off the field with the fans. He's been on the podcast. He went on the Dive Bar podcast. He killed it there. During the games, or during live practices, he's interacting with all the fans. He's great, and he's been with us for a while. What's cool is, I'll show you this. I talked about this yesterday, but as you guys know, I talked about this earlier. I am participating in the Miami Dolphins Cancer Challenge Cancer, and I'm going to be doing the 5K in February. I'll be flying down there and doing that again, and I'm very excited. I'm on Big E's team there, and we're raising money. We've all had cancer impact us, right? We've all had it touch us in some way, if not personally to us, to our family and our friends. For me, my grandfather Raphael, he died of cancer. I've had friends, my uncle Joey, my father's brother, passed away from cancer. It was bad, he deteriorated. But he fought. They all fought, and it took them. Lisa and Doug, I walked for all of them last year, and I'm doing that again this year. I'm humbled by doing this, and I'm excited about doing this to make a difference. But I'm raising money again. We raised over $46,000 as a team last year to the 10 million plus raised last year, I think, which was the most ever by DCC, and then 75 plus in the 15-year history. So we want to obviously go up to 85, 86 plus with that million. We want to go, this all goes to cancer. It's not like, you donate and part of this goes to the Dolphins and part of this goes to this team. No,
it's all cancer research.
The Cancer Research Center for the University of Miami. It goes to fighting cancer. And so I can understand, and I will just say this first, I'll tell you guys this: participate, be involved in this. Thank you, Cap. Appreciate you, brother. I I'm proud of the team. I'm proud of everybody that participated. And again, it's a humbling experience when you're doing it and you see what you're doing, and you remember how it impacted you and everyone else. But again, what I would say for you guys, for everyone watching, and especially if, for those that cancer has impacted in one way or another, get involved. It's you don't have to be in Miami to be involved. You could be where I am. I'm near Nashville, even though I've got family in Miami, but I'm near Nashville. You have people all over the United States that are participating in the Dolphins Cancer Challenge. They do the 5K where they're located at. Okay. And you could do that. You could ride a bike. You could do a virtual 5K, or you could fly down to Miami and do it.
Yeah.
Raise money. The minimum amount to raise is $250. So it's not some crazy amount. Of course, you can commit to doing more, but $250 is the minimum. So it's not that crazy, but at least you're doing something to make an impact. If you can't do that, like, man, I just don't have the time, but that's okay. I understand. Donate. $5, $10, $15, $20, whatever. Any of it helps. Okay. It all helps and it makes a difference. You, by just donating that $5 bill or 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, you are making a difference. You are involved in possibly finding the cure for cancer and kicking cancer's ass. Finally, do that. I'm going to drop the link and I'm going to make an extra incentive for you. Okay. I'm dropping the link here. This is I don't have the barcode to scan, but I'm dropping the link right now to my donation page. All right. You hit the donation, you put whatever. Whoever donates between now and next week has an opportunity to win a Blake Ferguson autograph. All right. And Blake Ferguson autograph. It's right here, actually. Yeah, here you go. Blake Ferguson auto. All right. And this is what's really cool about this. It's Mint One lifetime membership, Miami Dolphins. You hang up at the wall, hang that up in your office. Blake Ferguson, longtime Miami Dolphin, long snapper. Very cool. Okay. And $5 gets you in. That's it. You be 5, 10, 50, 20, whatever you want to donate gets you in on that to possibly win that. But also the bigger prize is you're participating and you're involved and possibly involved in helping fight cancer. So there you go. Great point to bring up Blake Ferguson, because there you go. I had Blake Ferguson.
Perfectly sound, brother.
There you go. All right, moving on. So yesterday, Alex, what happened with Goran Dragic, man?
It was his farewell game, man. It was the last night of the Dragon, where he got some of his best buddies. And people forget how big Goran Dragic is in Slovenia. Like the way we think of Dwayne Wade here and Kobe in China and MJ in Chicago and all over with the youth as we were growing up, that is what Goran Dragic represents in his native Slovenia. And he had a send-off. It was, to me, it was an amazing moment. And it was a little bittersweet because we finally got to see Chris Bosh and Dragic share the court, which for diehard Heat fans, they forget when we traded for Goran Dragic, Chris Bosh came down with a debilitating injury in regards to his blood clots, and they never got to share. I might be mistaken, but I don't think they ever got to share the court with the Miami Heat, which at that time, it was the ideal front court with Whiteside and Bosh, and we were going to have Dragic with Wade, and that was a team that was going to be reckoned with. And we never got to see that team complete because of Chris Bosh situations. Now, Goran, it's to me, it's funny how he played for a variety of teams, but he's going to go down and he's going to be remembered for his tenure with Miami, especially here. Miami absolutely loves Goran. And I remember even us having our debates when Goran wasn't playing up to his contract and he just had to get comfortable to the situation. He was relocating. His wife had a difficult pregnancy. And then people came to appreciate the toughness of a Goran Dragic. So it was a bittersweet moment, but it is also a testament to our mortality, our evolution as human beings, where we age and the game goes by. The years go by, family goes by, but some things remain forever. And Goran Dragic eventually will be a member of the Miami Heat front office. He resides here in Miami. This is his home. So it was just a cool send-off. Not many athletes get to have that one last game with your buddies in your home country and a sellout crowd. And it just goes a testament to how much respect Goran Dragic has in the basketball community and the fact that relationships are important. That's the future of this league. That's the future of any franchise. So if we continue to associate with people like that, the future of the Miami Heat is going to be in sound hands with Bam and whoever is part of the nucleus going forward after this year and the following years. But once again, this is not anything against Jimmy Butler's extension, nothing like that. It's just a testament to future generations of Heat basketball.
100%. 100%. I want to say quickly thank you to Crazy Dolphin for your $25 donation, man, for the DCC, brother. Lost my favorite auntie cancer. God bless you, man. Appreciate you. And I saw a comment earlier. I meant to say something. We'll say it now. We're talking about possibly doing a YouTube show for the Dolphins. You know, if you need help or anything of that nature, reach out to me on Twitter. I'll be happy to help you, or do what I can to help you get that started, man. You know, the more the better. Bobby, what are your thoughts on my last comment? I didn't see your comment, Anthony. Great to see you as always, brother. When we have to brag about how great our long snapper is, that shows that we really do not have faith into as a fan base to take us over the hump.
And they didn't have a context of what we were talking about. I don't think he had context of what we were talking about because we weren't doing it to praise. It was just I brought up Blake Ferguson. Honestly, on side note, we're like the Green Bays of long snappers because we had Ed Perry. So we went from generational long snapper to the next. What Green Bay is with their quarterbacks, we do with long snappers. Our long snappers stay for 15 plus years and they just snap.
Leander, man, appreciate you, Mr. Polk. Thank you so much, man. Crazy Dolphin. Appreciate you, brother. And again, if that's what you're looking to do, if you're looking to get into content creating for the Dolphin stuff, let me know, man. I'm always happy to help. I try to help.
We gotta see when you come down. We got to do a live episode of East 10th Street Boys. If we could do it live from the Cancer Challenge after the Cancer Challenge, I'm gonna be there as well with you this year. So I'm already planning on being there. Which, by the way, when we end the show, I got to talk to you about signing up. In which way to sign up? Because I saw a variety of ways, and I'm like, wait a second, where do I go with this route here? So
yeah,
I know.
For sure, man.
Self-explanatory, but I wanted to make sure I was part of the team with Big E.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Anthony, as always, thank you so much for participating always in the show and commenting and watching. Mm-hmm. I really don't have any thoughts on that comment. Again, it didn't really have, I get what you're saying, but it kind of, it's like, about the Tua thing. I don't know. In the past, I think the Dolphins have shown they have faith in Tua because they did the contract extension. And I think I'm just happy that we have a long snapper that we could trust in a situation where you have to long snap the ball. I guess that's the way I can answer it.
Now, can Blake Ferguson play
gotcha,
center?
Crazy Dolphin. Okay. To help understand YouTube Dolphins podcast. Gotcha, brother. Appreciate you. All right. But yeah, man, very cool. Very cool. But let me just say this in regards of, I didn't see any highlights or anything from the Goran Dragic game, the farewell game. Did Chris Bosh
he played
at all? He did get a bucket?
Yeah, he got a free throw. His first point came in a free throw. Which, like I said, that was a bittersweet moment, bro. When we saw Chris.
It was bittersweet. I saw him in uniform.
Man.
Hurt, not hurt me, but like I got like a lump. I was like, what
as an athlete, that's very difficult. And do you remember the time? There was an animosity between Chris Bosh, and he even stated he had offers from European teams to go play, but he was never going to get medically cleared here in the States. And the Heat were very respectful to Chris, and that's why I respect this organization so much. And I think the Miami Heat are top notch. They put the player above their success as a team because we wanted Chris Bosh out there. We needed Chris Bosh out there. People forget that we sat Chris Bosh out, and we went to Game 7 against Toronto with the Eastern Conference Finals on the line, and Justice Winslow starting at center. That's how disseminated that team was. We needed Chris Bosh on the floor, but they put his health first, and he was never medically cleared again, and he was medically retired. As an athlete, that is very difficult pill to swallow when you're in your prime. Like, not understanding, I'm like, oh no, but it's just blood clots. I'm taking medication. It's like, it's a situation where you can die on the court with any internal bleeding because you're on blood thinner medication. So that is something very hard to deal with as an athlete still in his prime, because if I'm not mistaken, he was 32, or I want to say 32 or 33 when he was forced to retire. But just to see him out there with Goran Dragic, Chris Quinn was there, our assistant coach was there. It was a really cool experience, because you always gonna wonder, like, damn, those teams were Bosch, because they traded for Dragic. When we traded for Dragic, the idea was him, Wade, and Bosch, and that was going to be the next big three per se. And we never got to see it materialize. But things happen for a reason. And Chris Bosch was always a player where you can always feel he would succeed off the court and post retirement. But I guess it was just the abrupt nature of that retirement, which he wasn't prepared for. Because sometimes you prepare yourself. And for example, even we love Wade, right? But 20 years from now, people are going to probably remember Wade as the analyst on NBC or on another channel, because he's so great at what he does post-retirement. For us, Wade is still going to be the best basketball player in Miami Heat history. But for this generation, they're going to see of Wade, and they're going to see a Charles Barkley, where, oh yeah, he's been a commentator for 20 plus years on TNT. That's how some of these people know Chuck. But we remember Charles Barkley, the player. So it's a cool evolution per se. And Chris Bosch is just a class act, man. And Goran Dragic is a class act. It was great to see him.
100%. It was bittersweet. I will say, for Crazy Dolphin, college football is back. Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm excited. We got great college football content here on the channel starting up. TD in Paradise started last week on Wednesday. Their first episode of the season started. They gave their preview for the football season. They talked about the post-Alabama Nick Saban era. I know Russ Morgan called the University of Miami, the Hurricanes, his sleeper team to make the playoffs. I'm excited about that. And talking about Miami Hurricanes, we have the Caneswear podcast starting up on Tuesday night. They're starting Tuesday night. They'll be live Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time, talking all Miami Hurricanes. They're going to have special guests. I'm very excited what Brett and his team have in store for the new show, Caneswear podcast, and always excited and appreciative of Brett and his team's partnership with FTSN, with the Caneswear store. Guys, if you're a Dolphins, Heat fan, Marlins, Inter Miami, all of the above, University of Miami, you're a diehard fan, you want to wear the best team sports gear, you want to represent your team, you got to go to Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com, or you could go to Caneswear, the location. You got the store in the 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. All the best merchandise. I got a beautiful Miami Dolphins jacket purchased by my wife there. From there, it came in a beautiful packaging. They send offers all the time, special deals. Hey, come here, come there. They got a lot of great stuff. They put in a lot of great work. So if you're a diehard Dolphin fan or a diehard Marlins, Heat, Inter Miami, etc., go to caneswear.com and go check it out. If you're anywhere other than in Florida, that's the site you want to go to. Shipping over $99 is free. Go check it out. Can't miss it. And like and subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you can see their first show on Tuesday night here on FTSN. Goran Dragic stated that he plans on, obviously he's retiring. He's going to take a year off to spend time with the family. But his plan is to come back next season to the Miami Heat in a front office role. Kind of like Zoe and UD and whatever. So you might go, okay, it'll be cool to see him there. But unlike UD and Zoe, this might have some sneaking ulterior motives, or it might be something going on. What could this mean for the Miami Heat if he's a part of the front office, Alex? What could it mean?
Well, even though you said it, I do believe the addition of UD to the front office still holds weight with modern day players and the transition. So there's not a lot of teams, if you notice. All our coaching staff were ex-players for the Miami Heat. Front office staff have been ex-players too. So this is a family-oriented. There's a lot of value there. There's very few teams, I believe, rarely any team in the NBA right now, that front office personnel, aside from obviously Adam Simon and all that, and they've been in the system for years, in the personnel department for years. But coaching staff, developmental staff, very rare in the NBA. All of them are ex-organizational players. With Goran Dragic is the relationships that he has with European players. And I'm not saying that just alone on Goran Dragic, who he is, you want him to be part of your staff. But he might not be interested in coaching like Karan Butler. Karan Butler found his passion in coaching. Goran Dragic looks like office personnel material, and especially with the European market, the evolution of this game in Europe, ourself with Jovic, like there is a branching out of basketball worldwide where I believe you should have as part of your front office. I'm a GM, I'm a president of the team. I want a functional front office where I can send anybody to any part of the globes. I can communicate. I don't need translators, but I can communicate in basketball language. And that's very difficult to have. A lot of NBA teams were very narrow-minded. Us, for a while, we stayed away from European players. People forget, after Pat Riley drafted Martin Morsep, which very few people even know who the hell I'm talking about. Martin Morsep was Pat Riley's final attempt in the European market before coming back into it in the late 2000s and all that. And I still remember a player, a lot of people probably don't remember also, Sasha Danilovic, number 5 for the Heat in 95-96, another European player. So that changed a long time ago. And Goran Dragic actually played with Luka Doncic's dad. And there's always, there was bringing up the topic for Heat potential second fiddle next to Bam for the future with a Bam build. I still think, obviously, de facto number 1 is Anthony Edwards. I believe he will be a Heat in the future. But there's always been talks, after Giannis, there's always been talks about Luka Doncic in 2026. That's why, if you look up, people haven't done this, but if you look up the Miami Heat salary cap situation right now, 2026 is the next year that they can make a big splash once again. So there's life to this. Luka's going to be a free agent. Mark Cuban sold the Dallas Mavericks, but he's still in the decision-making role as a majority, but he's not really the majority owner anymore. So there's going to be some changes there. And I would not ever be surprised. I know they talked about Luka. Lakers want him to be the next face of the franchise. I think there's a much better chance with Goran Dragic in place because of the relationships in the future. I'm not talking about now. But relationships are very important, not only with Luka, but other European players as well, and NBA players. So it also shows continuity. You have 2 retired players now in prominent front office roles, probably in UD. I'm not talking about decision makers, but it's also an extension. What I see with Goran and UD is an extension to the coaching staff, is like a bridge between the front office, coaching staff, and players. So it's somehow, some way is interchangeable, kind of like company CEOs. If I'm the owner of a company, I want my CEO to have worked in every branch of my company. And I feel that basketball analytics, basketball departments now, basketball operations are leaning into that sector where experience does matter. Yeah, the name is great, but with the way the new CBA is and the way the NBA is developing, relationships are very important. And Miami went through it with Wade. When Wade left, the relationship broke down. That's why I'm thankful to Jimmy, because of that relationship and the fact that people often forget about this. But that might have been the best move in Miami Heat history, was Cleveland trading Wade back for a second pick that never conveyed, because that really saved our image in the league and the relationship factor in the league. And I don't think Miami's ever going to make that mistake again, even with the Jimmy situation coming up. And me personally, Bob, and I remember this to this day, I didn't want to trade Goran Dragic for the Kyle Lowry situation. I knew they were doing it for Jimmy. We did many episodes on that. I do think Goran still had some left in the tank, 15, 20 minutes a night. But I'm just happy with his role moving forward when it becomes official. It's kind of like those wink-wink deals, but you don't know for sure until it's official. But I think it's going to pay dividends across the board, not only with European players.
100%. Crazy Dolphin. I need to get back to watching the NBA, especially Miami Heat. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thoughts on KD in Miami or Dallas? Did KD sign an extension, or is he available?
Well, KD signed his extension in Brooklyn, and then he was traded. So I believe KD has 2 years left on his deal. And Luka signed his extension, I want to say a year. Was it 2 years ago or a year ago? He has the possibility. Anthony Edwards just signed an extension last year. So that's why Anthony Edwards, I'm looking at 2027. Or the situation to watch with Anthony Edwards, like I've mentioned, is the decision that the arbiter makes with who is the owner of the Timberwolves. A-Rod and Mark, is it Mark Louver or Jeff? I forgot his name. They're in litigation with Glenn Taylor. Glenn Taylor made a deal to sell the team, and then the team gained almost $1 billion in net worth. So obviously he wanted to back out of the deal. He's trying to use some technicalities. So the case is now in courts. Supposedly, Tim Connolly, by the way, he signed his extension. When he signed his contract with the Timberwolves, it was contingent on Alex Rodriguez being the owner of the team. So if Glenn Taylor becomes the owner, which is what Dan Le Batard mentioned the other day, and he's getting some backlash for it. People think that he knows some inside information in regards to the Heat brass. Obviously, Dan has always been close to the Heat, especially Pat Riley, but it's not really speculation; it's a fact. There's a possibility where down the line Anthony Edwards could ask to be traded, and we all know relationships once again are important. That's why, to me, what I'm also watching is if Eric Spoelstra is named head coach of the team of USA national team. If Eric Spoelstra is the head coach, relationships like this matter. And I know the Steph Curry situation came up. Is he going to finish a Warrior? I do believe Steph will retire as a Warrior. But there's many relationship options. And one thing that doesn't go unnoticed, aside from going a lot, Bam's relationship. Bam is very popular amongst all NBA players. Bam has a strong relationship with a lot of NBA players. So that's something that's going to be beneficial also down the line, because people want to cite themselves. NBA is still relationships and money. It's a business, and teams, you need to have the relationship with these players. You need to show a continuity that you will take care of your players once they retire. And I think the Miami Heat are setting that precedence for years to come. And I know people might not see it, and I know the topic. You've probably discussed it, Bob, and we didn't get a chance to discuss it with the whole Brian Flores and Tua situation. I admire what he said and came out. And a lot of people want to get to the fact of, he just doesn't like to be coached hard. I think Nick Saban was a hell of a coach. I think Nick Saban was a hard-ass coach at times to play for. And Tua seemed to do fine with Nick Saban. And I don't think it was a tough coaching. You can coach someone tough, but when you tell your quarterback that you didn't want to draft him, that he shouldn't be here, that's not coaching. That's not tough coaching. That's not tough love. You're bringing that player down for a particular reason, said or not. So do I admire him standing up to say? He didn't throw him under the bus. He was asked a question. He responded, and he answered honestly. And the reason I say that is because Mike McDaniel is establishing a culture within the Miami Dolphins, kind of like what the Heat does. And I know there's a difference, but it's still a culture nonetheless, where it's a player comfortable culture. You're still accountable. You're still going to be coach hard. But in regards to these things that people think is, you have to be a tough coach. No, you could be a dick, man, and you cannot be a good tough coach. Because I've had coaches that I respect and admire.
I will say,
there's very difference.
Yeah, I want to say this very quick, because it's like, Daniel says, guys, it's real simple. Flores was an asshole. You could be an asshole and still be a great coach.
Exactly.
Or you could still be a good coach to your players, not just good coach meaning winning games. I talked about it yesterday, and I'll just say briefly again. You brought up Nick Saban. Exactly. It's not like, I know a lot of people are saying, he should let it go. Flores is stuck into his head, blah, blah, blah. It's not like Tua came out and just started talking about Flores. No, they asked him. They didn't say, hey, man, what happened with you and Flores, or what was up with Flores? He didn't do that. He didn't do that. It wasn't that question. It was the fact.
I want to respond to this one, because people could say a lot of things about Tua, but Tua's not soft. Tua, as a quarterback, dislocated hip, had surgery. He's played through these things. Tua's not afraid of these things, and I don't know where Tua got this soft label from.
Craig,
Tua's not soft.
Flores did not deny it. And let me just say, Anthony's asking, where's the evidence? That look, Jeff Darlington, who's really real connected, he didn't reveal this beforehand. He did reveal it at post Tua's comments. Because they were, they brought that up. Same thing as you, Anthony. Like, how do we know? Multiple
players can.
Well, Jeff Darlington said that Flores texted Tua. He texted him. He said, "Don't blow this." And after a game, you suck. You don't belong here. We're gonna try to we're gonna try to find somebody else, Deshaun Watson, i.e. Deshaun Watson.
You know how many people want to trade for this?
There's text messages.
Yeah.
Till I got the bag and grew some fake marbles. I will say this again. It's not
He's
like
definitely comfortable in his own skin.
Hold on.
But he didn't grow balls.
No, what I want to say is people confuse this. Like, oh, why the hell did he bring up Flores? First of all, Flores had talked about this situation. Tua hasn't. Flores did when Flores got fired. You know, and then he snitched, and you know he caused all the trouble, and he's in the lawsuit with the NFL and everything else.
Yeah.
He did talk about the Tua situation. Tua hasn't said a word about this. Everyone else did. Everybody spoke Tua's truth. No one else talked about it. Flores did, though. He talked with Omar Kelly, and it wasn't the pivot. It was the athlete, I'm athlete or something. He talked with Omar Kelly and Brandon Marshall. Tua was on Dan Lepertard's show. I think it was the South Beach Sessions, I think. And he asked him. He didn't say, oh, you know, what happened with you and Flores? He never said that. Tua never mentioned Flores by name. What it was he asked Tua, what is the difference between Flores' approach and Coach McDaniel's approach? And Tua answered truthfully.
Yeah.
Hey, one coach does it this way. You know, hey, you suck, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're this. And sometimes after a while, that wears on you. Compared to another coach who comes in and tells you, hey, man, no, you're accurate. You're good. You could do this. And that brings the best out of you. But of course, everybody gets caught in their feelings. Oh, he's talking about it's the fact that he answered the question. He's owed that. What, you know, people go, oh, he should have said, what he should have said was, oh, you know, man, that's the past. I'm not going to talk about that. You know, I'm not going to answer a question about the different approaches the coaches. And people go, dude, look how soft he is. He can't even talk about it. Oh, or somebody else, they're going to do a bunch of shows like this. People are going to come on and go, look, Tua still has issues with Flores. He wouldn't talk about it. You know why he doesn't talk about it? Everybody else is going to speak to his truth in that situation. Everybody's going to talk about something that they have no knowledge about. None of us lived that situation. There's a difference between tough coaching. Tom Brady goes, I appreciated tough coaching. Yeah, he was coached by Bill Belichick. Damn right he got coached hard by Bill Belichick. But I guarantee you Bill Belichick wasn't texting him, you suck.
Exactly.
You're not my quarterback. You shouldn't be my quarterback.
You coach to improve.
Belichick wasn't doing that. Yeah, if I'm the coach, Alex is my quarterback.
Yeah.
Alex, man, hey, man, you know, hey, dude, you did this good, but man, this right here was not good. That was, I don't know what the hell you were seeing out there. Oh, no, Bobby, bro, I saw him. He was open. No, he wasn't, dude. There's a linebacker there. Pay attention. You're better than this. Tough coaching. Get better.
And one thing that doesn't take away.
Go sit down. Coaching. But not going,
one thing that doesn't take away from
Alex, you suck. You're a backup quarterback. You should be a third string. I don't even know why you're on my team.
I didn't want you here. I didn't want you here. You're my pick.
You're not coaching at that point. It's like, come on, guys. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Yeah, Flores did talk about it. He didn't deny it. But Flores did talk about it.
For him, hopefully it's a growing moment.
He said, this is a growing moment. I thought one way. I should have thought another. I learned from that. I wish Tua the success. What I'm saying is people now coming out saying about, oh, Tua, you know, he's soft. He's this. He should never talk about it. No, let him speak what he wants. He didn't volunteer this information. He answered the question. He let it go. Here. They ask him again. He'll probably drop it.
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Right.
That's another situation on the defense side of the ball. Now, with the Tua situation, I understand you're a head coach. You sign to basically tank. You at that time you were tanking for Joey Burrow. Okay, perfect. The reports are that, and it wasn't even about Jordan Love. The reports are that Brian Flores wanted Justin Herbert, and he's justified. A head coach wants to be able to be involved with the selection.
Again.
He comes with a bit or very.
Bill Belichick has not told Tom Brady or anybody, you suck. You don't belong here. We're going to try to trade you. We're going to do this. He's hard on you. He's tough on you. He's going to tell you need to get your act together. I watched a video where he was telling Tom Brady, dude, what were you doing? Where you go? Oh, and Brady was going, no, he was open. He was open. And all of a sudden he goes, no, this guy. And he goes, oh, that's tough coaching, calling out your player, even though he's one of the greatest of all time.
Correct.
That's different. It's telling your player, you suck. You're garbage. You don't belong here. I want to go get Deshaun Watson.
Repeatedly.
I want to go get someone. I have to try to beat you up and try to fight you in the Titans game after the Titans game, which I was there. I wasn't in the locker room. I was live watching that game, and it was horrible all sides, Tua included. He tried to fight Tua in the locker room. Bill Belichick never did that. Don Shula never did that. Never. And here's a fact to those who keep saying, oh, but Bill Belichick. Brian Flores is not Bill Belichick. Brian Flores is not Nick Saban. Nick Saban, even before coming to the Dolphins, when he made a player cry, because the player, he never told the player, you suck, you're garbage, you don't. No, what happened was that player came up to Nick Saban, tried to say something to Nick Saban. Nick Saban then looked at him, walked away, and then somebody came up and said, hey, you don't talk to the head coach. You talk to me. That's where Nick Saban effed up. But go back to Nick. Look what Nick Saban says about quarterbacks. He says, I never talk down on my quarterbacks. I work with them. I coach them up. I treat, I don't talk.
They're your eyes on the field.
If I talk to them, I'm talking to the side, not in front of the team where I'm saying, hey, you need to get better. This was not good.
Yes.
Watch Nick Saban. And Nick Saban was Tua's coach. And he excelled.
Look,
so come on, guys. It's not about Tua at the same. It's about Flores. And he had the right to talk about it. That's all I have to say.
I'll give you the coaching perspective, Bob, in the
100%.
very humble, border on being a child as a coach. Yeah.
Yeah, he was going through. He was made a head coach when he shouldn't, and I understand. He didn't want Tua.
No, and
here's the thing: he didn't want
Tua.
That's my point. He wanted Love. You know, I understand that.
No,
but,
Herbert.
Again,
you wanted Herbert.
No, well, that's what they said. But I think Big O was one who
he wanted Love.
He wanted Jordan Love.
So he wanted to take him later.
He wanted to go later. He wanted Jordan Love, which is fine. The fact is, sometimes you don't get what you want. You had a guy, your GM said, no, we're going to it. Your owner probably said, we want to do it. So you should have made the best of that situation.
What Tati said here, Tati, part of this is essentially true. And this is something that I vouch for myself. From a coaching perspective, obviously, I coach, I'm an assistant coach, high school basketball here in Florida. The model that we have is we can now go against who we are. And it's funny because I coach with two people that we have different coaching styles. I'm the older assistant, which is funny. I'm the older assistant on staff, player development and all that, because that's what I'm great at. I love it. And one thing that we always respect is, even as a staff, if we have a disagreement, the voice that the team has to hear is the head coach's voice. Do we work with players individually, JV and varsity? Absolutely. I'm talking to players on a daily basis. Another coach is talking to players on a daily basis. We're a family, but it's one voice. Now, we hold ourselves accountable, but never in front of the players. In front of the players, we're always united. Sometimes do we go overboard? Yes, we do. As a coach, you have to realize that even as a father, this is something that I struggle with. And I'm pulling back the curtain here. I used to coach my son for a long time. My son is now on a travel basketball team. I still coach him. He doesn't listen to me as much because he's getting older. So he thinks this. So this is something that I'm working on myself, where it's not overpraise them, but you have to hold them accountable. But sometimes he rises, he's like, Dad, all you tell me is what I do wrong. And I'm like, holy shit. Even today it clicks. I'm like, fuck, that's true. Because as a coach, you're trying to help him out. And I have this new thing. I'm like, when we train, you're not my son. You're a player and I'm a coach and I'm not dad. So that way we have a respect factor as coach and player and as dad and son. So we can differentiate those two. Out of all the people in the world that Brian Flores could have done this to, he did it to the completely wrong person. Not because he was a quarterback, but even who Tua is as a person. I'm not justifying mistreating any player whatsoever. But Tua is a player that will work with his coach. Tua is a player that is coachable. So to me, out of everyone that he could have done it to do it to Tua, when he's someone that is coachable, that is willing to learn, that is willing to work with the organization, that has been serviceable, he's done everything you've ever asked him to do, is a completely different scenario than if you have a quarterback that is in the media blasting his head coach, talking shit about the organization, going behind the coach's back, because we saw it in person. But I remember texting you, and when he would bring Ryan Fitzpatrick in and out of games, I'm like, what the hell is he doing? If you're going to ride with Fitzpatrick, ride with Fitzpatrick. If you're going to ride with Tua, ride with Tua. You can't bring in and out quarterback in and out of situation because it's third down and long and you put Tua out and you put Fitzpatrick. That doesn't work. And at the end of the day, if you don't want him as your quarterback, you need to make a decision where you go to the front office and basically it's either me or him. And if it causes you to be fired or you have to resign, then you do so. But what he's doing, he's putting himself in jeopardy for future jobs. He got the Vikings DC job, but I highly doubt he's going to be a head coach in the NFL anytime soon, if he's ever a head coach again. Because how you handle those things, unless you learn from it, and this is the part that sucks. Brian Flores might not be a bad person at all. Brian Flores might be a great person to a lot of players. but it was a personal decision because he did not want Tua Tagovailoa as his quarterback. He wanted someone else as his quarterback, and then it became personal. And you can't let that happen because I know it sucks and you're at a crossroads, but this is only magnified by Tua's success under Mike McDaniel. If Tua would have sucked under Mike McDaniel and we would have released him, no one will be talking about it. But the fact that Tua reached his potential with a new coach shows you the lack of adaptability that another coach has. But once again, it's based on personal decisions. He didn't want him as his quarterback. He didn't want to make it work because he did not see him fit in his system. So things happen sometimes. And in personal life, in professional life, Brian Flores was that guy for Tua that pushed him over the edge to question, and Mike McDaniel saved him from that and rebuild his confidence. So it's a testament to both. Tua grew from it. He has a perfect support system now. I hope Brian Flores grows from it and it makes him a better coach long term in regards to how you handle personnel. And you have to work hand in hand with that's why it's very important when a GM of president of football operations hire their head coach, because they're working. You're not inheriting anybody. You're not forced to work with somebody. So I hope it's a learning curve for him. And you can't forget, and this is not excusing it, and I hate this model of being soft because I've used that term as well. I hate soft-ass players. I hate players that complain, even if it's my own family. You cannot forget that those are human beings as well, too. So it's a thing that you struggle.
I will say this, what Cap is saying, new season, new start, I'm ready. Exactly. Now that it's been said, Tua finally has spoken. I never did.
Correct.
He finally spoke because he was asked a question about the different approaches from the two different coaches.
Correct.
That's it. I don't think Tua next week is going to go, yeah, man, we had a good week, man. If it was Brian Flores as coach, we would have never done that. No, that's not what he did. He never done that. So now it's over. And I will say, too, again, we bring up the past, blah, blah, blah. Look, he was asked a question. A lot of players are, hey, man, hey, Tom Brady, you had Bill Belichick as your coach, but now you have Bruce Arians. What's the difference? Oh, okay, well, this guy does this and that guy does that. So it was the same type of thing. He answered. He said, hey, look, when you have a guy that's telling you all of this, what is he supposed to lie? Well, he was just a very hard coach. And man, it was very, where Mike McDaniel's not such a hard coach. It is what it is. I understand, but is Flores our head coach now? No, move on. No, he's not.
Yeah. To me, and that's fine. If Brian Flores is a coach, I reach out to Tua and I speak to him.
Hold on. No, I understand that, but it was a question asked by Dan Le Batard to Tua. He again, and Tua answered. It wasn't like, hey, talk to me about Brian Flores. Oh, he's a piece of shit. He said, no. It was, what are the two different approaches? And people are going now all of a sudden, oh, Tua's so soft. Look, Tua's Flores is still up in his head. No, man. And again, why would he not answer that question the way he answered it? And he was truth about it. So, okay, cool. You spoke your truth. It's over now. Let's move forward. Now it's done. It's done. So, no, I know you're not crazy Dolphin. I get what you're saying. I understand where I understand where it's like, hey, man, but why are we talking about this? No, forget Flores. Thing is, it's not like Tua brought it up. They asked the question. No. Oh, but what if he should have then said no about it? He should have said, no, man, I want to move forward with it. But now Tua can't control the narrative. Now Tua can't speak his thing. Now everyone else is controlling the narrative. Now everybody go, oh, wow, he didn't want to talk. He didn't want to answer a simple question. Wow. Flores
exactly.
Really did damage on him. It's like, you see?
It's part of any comfort situation. Okay, whenever you're faced with a situation like this, it takes years for you to be comfortable to speak about it. And like you said, he was asked a question. He answered honestly. And to me, he still held back. He didn't answer exactly like he talks to his boys or he talks to his family, because we all understand these. Like, that to me, I know it's the two-faced nature of the business. So all these people, when people talk about media and, the players being upright and players being up front and he's just honest, everything's a show. No matter what, anything's a show. So to me, you never get the real person. The real person is only when the cameras are off and nobody's watching. I say this to my family the whole time. So what you're still talking about it, me and Bobby are holding back right now. We don't always talk like this. Everybody knows that. So I hate when people live in this image of like, oh no, but he went all around the player, and I'm like, no, bro, who you really fucking are is when the cameras are not on, when no one is talking to you. Exactly how you feel is how you express it to your close ones. So Tua held back. Tua could have demolished Brian Flores, but he chose not to. He spoke candidly. He spoke truthful. I do hope, as a coach, Brian Flores and Tua have a chance to connect and talk, but that has to be initiated by Brian Flores. Brian Flores has to initiate that conversation with Tua, no matter what.
We'll leave it at that. Let me
I want that recorded.
Oh, that's my wife.
I want
you
that
see?
recorded.
She has nature. America, don't listen to this, America.
I want that piece recorded.
The missus is in the house.
La.
He pretends to be all this nice guy on camera. As soon as he's off, he's a piece of shit. The
Where's my lunch, woman?
Where's my breakfast? The Wayne D experience. Now, you all fans that didn't believe in Tua still blame him for the past 24 years and still judge him off the first 2 trash years because of flow. But now you don't tell us. But please don't tell us not to bring up the past when you use it for scenario. Good point. But we'll go ahead and Wayne D experience with the comment there. Yeah.
But and Chris, I saw it and it's perfect. But what I care about the personal level. Because at the end of the day,
well, I think I do believe
no one's gonna like
that
me.
First of all, he got a second opportunity. He's in Minnesota. He has time to reflect. Correct. He probably thinking about now. Here's Tua didn't say that. Now Tua says something. Now he got to say. He goes, you know what? I wish Tua all the success. I'm proud of what he's done the last couple of years with Coach McDaniel.
Correct.
I wish nothing but. He said, I hope that me and Tua could talk eventually and bury the hatchet and move forward. Look. Flores is not wrong. He's still dealing with a lawsuit. Flores understands, or he's not dumb. He knows that he wants to get another opportunity to be a head coach. And I think when he does get that opportunity, and I think he will, I think that he's going to say, you know what? I have to treat this situation better. I have to get along with my GM better. I have to get along with the ownership better. I have to get along with my quarterback better, whoever that quarterback is. He needs a job that's going to go, hey, don't go to a job that already has a GM, unless the guy is a solidified GM. He got that situation. We won't go into it. Go to a job where you and the GM are hired at the very same time. And that way you guys have the same mindset to go, okay, hey man, I want Jordan Love. You want Tua. We got to figure this out. Okay, let's go. Let's meet in the middle here and go get, don't go in a situation where like, oh man, okay, well, I have to go get this quarterback. And if you do get that guy, even if that's a situation you do get presented, you don't go in it with treating that player with animosity. You go, I'm going to try to get the best out of this guy. Because even if I don't believe that he's the guy now, I'm going to make sure maybe he proves me wrong. I think Flores can do that, and I think he will learn, and I think he will get another opportunity. I don't think this one situation. Everybody has a thing that happens in your life that you regret, and you're like, "Shit, dude, I handled that way freaking wrong."
Especially publicly.
Yeah, it shouldn't end his career as a head coach or whatever. He shouldn't be stuck to be D coordinator or nothing like that. He has to grow from it. I believe in second chances, and I believe he will get it. But that situation sucked, and I'm not mad at Tua for talking about it. Tua answered a question. That's all I'm saying. He lived his truth. That was truth. And it was wrong for what happened with that. But Flores will get a second opportunity, and he earned it.
I'll make a comparison, Bobby. Remember when obviously we were too young, but when you read up on it, basically the reason that Dan Marino retired earlier, obviously was hurt or not, but was Jimmy Johnson. Yeah. So, but that's a very different. He was already a Hall of Fame quarterback. He was secure within himself. Maybe he's a different person. What I don't like about this, and I'll just make this quick point, and that's it. What I don't like about this whole situation is that during this whole time, as it was happening, the only person being questioned was Tua Tagovailoa, and he was soft. Tua doesn't know how to handle pressure. Tua's not vocal. Tua's not this. Tua's not this. Tua's not that. Forgetting who Tua was in Alabama, who he played for in Alabama, who Tua has been his whole life. So to me, what bothered me is that it obscured Tua. It basically shut Tua off to become a person that he second-guessed himself, which he doesn't seem to be a person. That's why I've said this repeatedly, and I wish we could pull back everything that I've said about Tua. The moment Tua is a complete football player is when Tua is comfortable in his own skin and he's allowed to play like he's always played football. I genuinely believe it's this year. The reason that I was so comfortable to see Tua speak, do you remember the press conferences Tua will give his first and second year under Brian Flores? Very timid, very direct to the point. He wouldn't elaborate. He wouldn't even smile. He wouldn't smile. And don't get me wrong. I know as coach, winning is important. Winning is the most important thing. The culture you create with the players you create, you can't reach all the players the same way. So a coach could have his mindset. You have to have accountability across the board, but you reach every player differently. I'm not saying you're going to cater to players. That's very different. We don't cater to players. But you can reach a player in different stances. So I'm happy for Tua. I'm happy for Flores. I do hope that behind the scenes, they could eventually meet up, talk to each other, because you don't want to live with that animosity towards one another. Because even if they're cordial, there has to be a level of, I'm not saying hatred because it's a strong word, but there has to be some animosity. You want to be able to see and have a good relationship, no matter what. A good working relationship, a good post-working relationship. I know it's not perfect. It's not a perfect world, but at the end of the day, these guys are part of a family. They're part of the NFL family. That's a fraternity. So instead of bringing each other down, maybe they're not right for each other, but at least be amicable, be courteous with one another, and just have that relationship where you're like, hey, look, I know I hurt you. My bad for the way I treated you. I was growing as well. You were growing as well. But like people don't realize this, Bob, but if Mike McDaniel, okay, think about this. Mike McDaniel's not hired as a head coach. You hire another veteran coach, like a Brian Flores mentality. You can't be soft, you can't do that. What happens to Tua Tagovailoa? That's his career. That's his career right there. People don't realize that. How Mike McDaniel not only could have saved Tua, the franchise, but that hire alone did a 180 on this team. Because if Mike McDaniel's not the head coach, you probably don't agree on a trade for Tyreek Hill. You probably don't draft Jalen Wright, Devon Achane. So, like, it's some of those things, like, it happens for a reason. It happened. We go over it. But some of these decisions, man, come at the perfect time. And everybody matures. Everybody gets older. Hindsight is 20/20. But a lot of these things, like Tati mentioned in one of her comments, was it takes time to be able to talk about that and to heal. A lot of people forget these are human beings. They have feelings too. So I'm not saying they're butthurt. And yeah, you're athletes. You got to be tough. And I'm the first one to preach that. I'm like, bro, stop whining about the dumb stuff. Like, there's some little shit. We don't need this drama. Like, just play the game, get through it. But there are certain moments, especially coaches' relationships with players. It takes time to heal. It takes time to speak. Like, shit, there's still coaches and players that don't speak to each other after all these years. So, like, it's one of those things that I'm just glad it's over with. And Cap, what you said, let go, let God, it's true. There's certain points that are out of your control, and you just got to roll with it, no matter what.
Let go, let God. I love it. All right, give me one momento. All right, so great points all around. We'll leave it at that. I'll let Alex have the final word. I will say Connor Norby, who was traded to the Miami Marlins, maybe the second best prospect in baseball.
Yes.
He just hit his second home run in as many days on the first pitch of the game. Really cool, man. I'm so excited about Connor Norby.
I will say this to Marlins fans. I know it's very difficult because we've been through this many times. I'm giving Peter Bendis a chance, just myself. I think we all should give Peter Bendis. He's gotten a good rate of return in all his moves this year. He seems to have a great talent evaluation team around him. So let's give it a shot. With the pitching that we have, next year we can be legit 1 year away from contending again. I'm obviously, I'm not talking crazy. I know Marlins fans, we've been through this. We've been through fire sales. Oh my God, we're trading against talent again. We traded Jazz. I was hurt by the Jazz trade because of his persona. I think he's a great global market athlete, but Peter Bendix seems to have a great team in place when it comes to talent evaluation. So I'm trusting in him, what he's going to build. I really am. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm being positive. And up to now, every move that they've made has panned out some way, somehow in the short term and hopefully long term as well.
So I agree. I know we we're close to the 2 hour mark, but so far it's been a great show. We went over on the Flores Tua thing, which Alex brought up, but that's cool. I did talk about it yesterday, so I'm glad we were able to touch on it again. I didn't get your thoughts, so glad we did, and we had a good conversation. And Cap, Crazy Dolphin, Ralph, everyone right now who's in the comments and participating, thank you so much. Anthony as well, Wayne B Experience, you guys are awesome. Right now, 85 people total watching. Looks like live from Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Appreciate you all watching right now. Tune in, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't yet, whatever platform you're watching. But hop over to YouTube and hit that like and subscribe button. Final topic of the day. I thought to keep it fun, keep it loose. Obviously, we're not going to roll into the whole political talk, but I do want to say, man, it's been a crazy campaign season so far. It looks like we're in the final stretch, obviously a couple months away, or not a couple, 9, 10, 11, November.
Yeah, 2 months away.
And we're not going to go into all of that. But what I will say, though, is, watching everything that's been going down and all that, I started, I've been sitting down and looking at everything, and I started getting an itch watching a show that I really, really enjoy. I started going, man, I've seen this show 3 times, and this is my 4th time watching it now. After everything that's been going on, I'm like, I feel like I want to watch this show again. and that is called Veep. I got to recommend you guys, whatever side of the aisle you're on, wherever you feel. We know how crazy everything's been. But if you really want a good laugh and you want to see how crazy Washington really is, and they've all said it, that this show hits close to home in regards of how it is in politics. Veep with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. That show is freaking hilarious. It's on HBO. I think it had 6 seasons. 6 seasons. I'm on season 4 already. I've watched this 4 times. I'm on the 4th time watching it since it's been on ever. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, do so. Start off episode 1.
You're on episode 28?
Yeah, that's right. Something like that. So, because they have 10 episodes per season. So,
okay. Oh, shit. 10 episodes per seasons?
Yeah, because it's HBO. HBO
is it 6 seasons?
Yes. Yeah.
Holy shit, that's 60 seasons. That's 60 episodes.
But let me tell you something. First off, it's a comedy, okay? But she's the vice president, and the president's President Hughes, but you never see him. But it starts off with her in the office, in her president's office. She's always going into the room, and she says, like, hey, is the president called? They go, no, she's not an act. She's a VP, but she doesn't really, is involved as much, even though she wants to. But, it's like the day he's oversees the president. And they go to her. She's talking. She treats her office like crap, and it's hilarious. The stuff that goes down. Some of it's improv. So there's the shit that goes down. But they go, Madam Vice President. She's what? They go, Jonah. It's Jonah, and she can't stand Jonah. Jonah's this oversized dude, and they treat him like crap. And come stain Jonah and all this whatnot. And but they yeah. They go, dude, if you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it. And they go, but she goes,
I gotta watch it. I haven't watched it.
Did she say she goes off? She goes, do you like to travel? He goes, yeah. And she goes, says something else. Do you like to something? And he goes, then go. Oh, she goes, do you like he goes, yes. Do you like to travel? Yes. She goes, and he goes, oh, okay. He goes, but Madam VP, you have to go to the White House. All of a sudden, all the Secret Service come up. The president is not feeling well. He's in this other country. He's possibly having a heart attack. You need to go. And she goes, oh. And she starts smiling. Are you smiling? She goes, oh, no. I'm she thinks they're about to be president. Anyway, this show, dude, from Gary, who's her bad guy, he does everything for her. From Mike McClintock, the press secretary, everything. It's a comedy, right? And there's been other shows about the White House and politics and everything else that you think of The West Wing with Michael Douglas, right?
Yes.
Michael Douglas.
Martin
Sheen.
Martin Sheen, yeah.
Unbelievable show. I love that show, but nothing is closer to the real Washington D.C. than that show.
Than that one.
Guys, it is one of the funniest shows. Aladino, Bobby, this was the best show I've heard from you now. Hey, dude, Aladino, thank you, brother. I appreciate
you, buddy.
Man.
Martin Sheen.
Bobby, I said Martin Sheen. Oh, she's delayed. She right now to you. Martin Sheen. There's my wife in the background. See, unlike Alex's wife, my wife is still 5 minutes behind in everything. I mean, we said it like 5 minutes ago. Martin Sheen, we know. Anyway, guys, you got to watch Veep if you haven't already. Get a good laugh. We all deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much crap going on, not just in politics, but in life and everything else. You want a good laugh. That's what I like to do at the end of the night. Actually, last night, my wife fell asleep, but she was like, she goes, you want to watch that Steve McNair documentary? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I like watching comedy stuff. I watched it. It was sad. Eric McNair was one of the greats. That situation was freaking horrible. But I love watching comedies, and Veep is one of the best comedies out there. So, guys, turn it on when you get a chance. Watch the first season. You're going to get hooked. And come back next week and tell me what you thought about it. Honestly, you're probably going to watch everything. Fitzstans is texting me like 3 damn times already. Let me see. Okay. Bandwagon will be back on Thursday night next week as well. Finn's Bandwagon with Fitzstans. But anyway, guys, hey, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. Make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button and share. I appreciate Crazy Dolphin, Ralph, all the coming in here, Aladino. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate that you like the show. Alex, any final thoughts?
No, bro. I'm just waiting to see the final cuts for the Dolphins. I'm excited to see what could become available. That does not take away my confidence for us this year. And it's an overall, I love this time of year because it's the preparation for football season. Basketball season is almost back. Baseball's culminating. So it's an exciting time, man. It's an exciting time. And hopefully the weather changes because it's still hot as shit down here, bro. I don't know if it's hot over there, but it's still very humid over here down in Miami. But overall, I hope everyone has a great week. And thank you for sharing your Sunday with me. Not many times you get to share 2 hours on a Sunday of family time and you get to listen to us. appreciate it. That's cool.
There you go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. And what I love about this show, what I love doing about this and having you guys in the comments, even when we all disagree, we disagree respectfully and have fun. We get into it and we move on. And, talk about, we had that conversation, but we talk all these fun topics and we have a blast doing this. So I appreciate you. Join us maybe next Sunday or next Wednesday. I'm not sure. As we get, next Sunday for sure. And then into the season, we might change the day. But we appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you so much. For Dolphin fans, like, subscribe. Most importantly, as always, fins up. Go Fins.
Let me see which one comes up. Double.
Oh, wow. Oh, you're so fucking cheesy. All right, guys, later.
And I still don't know what the hell that is, bro. I don't know what that
like,
is.
Whatever. I can't afford a green screen, but I can have fireworks. All right. Later, everybody. Have a good weekend.